Hi, you're listening to Wicked Whispers, and today we're reviewing the 2013 film, The Conjuring, that's based on a real Ed and Lorraine Warren case. So what's your opinion on it?
I thought it was a really well done film. I don't want to say for a 2013 film because 2013 we had a lot of advanced technology, but we have more advanced CGI and stuff than we did then. But I think that they did really good for it, with it, especially with the accuracy. Although I read part of Andrea Perrin, the oldest daughter's book that she wrote about the time she spent in that house, and she said that she gave it to the screenwriters of The Conjuring, and they couldn't put half of it in there because of how bad it was.
Like, just imagine how terrifying that was, especially for like April when she was so young.
She wasn't even old enough to be in school yet.
I know, like that must have been terrifying.
Sadly, she was the first one to pass away. She's the only one to pass away out of the Perrin sisters. But I think the actress Lily Taylor, who played Carolyn Perrin, the mom, she did so good, especially with the later part of the film, where she was possessed and like coming out of possession and everything. I think she did so good. And I think she really hit on to those emotional parts of what happens during those times. And I think it made me want to cry because of how emotional she was and remembering what she was trying to fight for and stuff. Like, you don't think it would be that emotional of a film, but it was really emotional.
And especially, like, if you're into horror, like, that gives you a whole new aspect of it.
And I think a lot of the actresses of the daughters, especially Joey King, did really good in that scene where there was something in her bedroom. Yes. I think she did amazing in that scene.
And then I told you about the blood disorder she got while filming that, right?
Yes.
Yes, that was, like, so weird. Like, out of nowhere, for, like, the people that don't know. Like, out of nowhere, she was, like, really sick, like, dizzy all the time, everything. Random bruises, which is a really creepy part.
Yeah.
And so she went to the doctor, and they're like, oh, you have this rare blood disorder. And, like, it messes with your, like, iron and stuff. And no one in her family had, like, any, like, blood issues or anything like that. Like, no one did. So, like, really odd. So she had to get, like, stuff done, like, blood work and everything done almost every single day before she went on set.
Me being terrified of needles, that's a whole horror movie in itself.
Exactly. And so she, like, had to get all that stuff done, like, right before she went on to act. Well, she went back home, and she went to get checked up on, and they said that there was no trace of anything ever happening with her blood. No trace of having a blood disorder or anything.
It's really creepy.
And the fact that that they weren't even on, like, the set wasn't even built on, like, any land that was a part of it, and it wasn't filmed at the actual house.
I think they said they filmed it, like, west of the United States, and the original house was in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really cool that the 50-foot tree that you see that Bathsheba was hung on, the crew actually built that. Like, that tree was man-made. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Like, how do you make a tree?
I don't know.
Like, I get, like, you could plant it, but, like, what was it made out was a good question.
Probably wood, like, trees.
Well, you never know. We didn't even know it was built.
I thought it was also really cool that the actor, I say actor instead of actress because the one who played Bathsheba was actually Joseph Bishara, the same actor who played the lipstick demon in Insidious, another popular James Wan film.
Like, that's really cool. Like, I would never have thought that was a guy.
James Wan is my absolute favorite director. He does Insidious, he does Saw, he does the Conjuring universe. He did some of the Aquamans too. He does so good. It's really cool to look into the director and producers of it just to see what movies are in common with different, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, the different actors and directors and what they like to use, like their signatures in it.
And speaking of, like, the filming of it and stuff, like, the angles and, like, the transitions and, like, the shots they got were amazing.
They really were, especially when they were setting up their equipment. Yes. When Drew was, like, in one room and then he'd be on the other side of it in a split second. Yes. I thought that was really cool.
And it was so clean, too.
It was a very clean shot. Like, you couldn't even tell.
I know.
And I really liked the shot where they were running through the house,
Yes.
and then it just upside down, and it flips right side up.
That's what I was about to mention.
Yeah, and then you see Drew at the top of the stairs.
Really cool shot. Like, they did amazing. And can we talk about how, like, the, Ed and Lorraine and the mom and the dad are, like, couples goals?
They are couples goals.
Like, the way she was like, God brought us together for a reason. This is it.
Oh. My man better tell me that. I'm telling you now.
Yeah,
if my man is listening, he better tell me that at some point.
Yeah, mine is probably. He could be listening right now, for all we know. But yeah.
I think Farrah Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, who played Lorraine and Ed Warren, are amazing actors. And Patrick Wilson actually directs some horror movies himself. And Farrah Farmiga is an amazing actress. Have you ever seen her in, like, the Nun, the Conjuring universe? I love her in Boy in Striped Pajamas. I think she does very good emotional scenes.
That movie was so sad.
That was a very sad movie. But I also like the accuracy of the information, like the stages of possession and how you can tell if it's a demon or something, like if it's demonic presence, how you can tell, like, with the rotting meat or the offenses to the Trinity, or the stages of possession were infestation, oppression, and possession. Infestation was just like they said, it was like the voices, the footsteps, hearing the knockings. And then you would have oppression, which is the bruises and the scratches on the victim, and then you would have the full-on possession.
And also, can we talk about how they mentioned, like, how, like, the more, like, empathic ones, basically, and the one that are, like, the most believers, I guess you could say. And, like, you watched our last episode, you know, we both think we're more sensitive. So, like, it's just crazy to think that if
you hear dogs barking, please ignore it.
Yeah, we're outside. But, if, like I said, if you watched the last episode, then you know we both think we're more sensitive. So, like, if it was to be, like, anyone in our families, we'd probably be the one to get possessed.
And that's terrifying to me, because I know I have God on my side, but
like,
I stray from my faith sometimes, and I don't, and that time is when I'm most afraid, like, what if, like, I know I'm the reason I'm being pulled away from it. Like, I have a play in that, but it's also terrifying to think this is when I'm the most vulnerable.
Yes, like, that's absolutely terrifying. Like, oh, like, if I'm, like, losing faith or something like that, that's when I'm most vulnerable. Like, that, and, like,
that's when, like, the demons and Satan likes to strike.
And they're very patient. Like, they wait till it is perfect timing.
And they may do something over time. That's how patient demons and the Satan is. That's how patient they are. They will sit there and they will wait over time. And it's just terrifying to think that's what she did. That's what Bathsheba did with Carolyn Perrin, was she kind of just broke her down, and it was very quick, but it was also it was a period of time where she was just like nothing was happening. She was so happy, but then the bruises started, and it was just so heartbreaking to see.
Also, something you learn from The Conjuring is always listen to your pets. Pets know best.
Pets know best. We're gonna make a shirt with that.
Yep. But, like, the dog could sense it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, like,
that's
very
why she
common.
wouldn't come in the house.
And I've also heard that kids and animals are more connected to the spiritual world.
Well, kids, like, are more open-minded.
Yeah. Because, like, adults, like, they grew up their whole lives. Like, they've grown up.
They kind of lost that spark.
They kind of lost that. Like, they lost their imagination, their creativity and stuff, kind of, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they still have it, just they have trouble finding it, like teens and kids do. And, like, they also watch all the horror movies if they're into it. And they're like, oh, it ain't real because it's just, like, this movie or this book. Or
and they don't understand that
whatever.
Some of this could actually happen. Some of this could The Conjuring was based on a true story.
Yes.
All of the Conjuring movies that have came out are based on true stories.
And, like, let's just talk about, like, all the kids that probably died from the sacrifices they were talking about.
That is terrifying. And how Bathsheba, like, possessed the mother to kill the child. That was heartbreaking.
Like, because, like, the kids had, like, so much trust in that mom. Just want to do that.
That scene where you saw the maid who was made to kill herself, that was terrifying. And it showed, like, her wrists and everything. That was rough.
Yeah, like, it just shows how much, like, they go through.
It shows how much demons and Satan can put you through.
And, like, just imagine living in that house. All the mind games they would be playing with you. Even if they weren't possessing you.
Just watching your family go through that.
Yes. But that would, like, cause you so many mental problems.
That hide and clap game, I don't know if I ever want to play that.
I don't know.
Because, like, just watching that basement scene where she's trapped in the basement.
Like, I've never, like, jumped during a horror movie. Like, I'm always, like, expecting the jump scares, but I jumped, like, so much.
I've seen that movie, like, we've seen that movie, like, a million times, and I still jump every time.
First time I watched it was actually with you.
Oh, yeah.
When we heard the cats that went in the house. And then yesterday in the same scene, the dog started barking.
But it was overall a very good scene, a very good movie, very well done. The actors were amazing. The director does amazing. Everybody who was in that crew, I think, deserved a award because of how, like, I know that they didn't put everything in there, but they can't, you know?
Yeah.
They happened over so long.
And also, like you said, like, with the book that she gave them, they said they couldn't put it in there because of how, like, graphic and, like,
how much of a horrible rating they would get.
I'm trying to think, I know a word, but I can't think of it, and it's going to drive me crazy. Demonic! How, like, demonic it was.
It was demonic.
Like, they couldn't put the stuff in because of that.
It's terrifying.
And gruesome. That was the other word.
Grotesque.
Grotesque. Thanks for listening to Wicked Whispers. Tune in next time for more Wicked Stories. And don't forget to leave your Wicked Stories in the comments so we can share them. Bye.